Man, it's been a long time since I painted any miniatures. I wonder how bad I am now. I wonder if I've improved.
I know. There's only one way to find out. Let's paint a mini. Hey good folks, my name is Leif and I want to welcome you to my channel called Devs and Dice. In today's video, I'm getting back into the miniature painting saddle after a long hiatus where I've been mostly crafting terrain.
But why, Leif? I love it when you make terrain videos.
Well, first of all, I love miniature painting and I've missed it. That being said, there is a small preview at the end of the video of my largest terrain project yet. Second of all, the good folks over at Mammoth Factory sent over their entire library of STLs and adventures.
More about them later in the video.
Let's get cracking.
I printed out this mini on my Saturn and it came out quite nice. That being said, there's always some small bits of supports left to clean up. I've done quite a large redecorating of my hobby space, which meant that I knew where my bases were, and I decided to go with a 3-inch base for this beautiful beholder. Once everything was glued into place using super glue, I started more actively thinking about the paint scheme and the base. Now, even though I haven't been painting minis for 3 months, I have been paying attention to talented mini painters online such as Zumikito, Sergio Calvo, Squidmar, Lila Mev, and so on. Through that, I think I have started to sort of develop my own style of painting, which is a far cry away from the paint-by-number system that companies such as Citadel and Army Painter offer. Misunderstand me correctly, there is nothing wrong with that way of painting, it just does not get my creative juices flowing. Now, as I was on my hiatus from mini painting, I made some discoveries about what is important for me, and perhaps more importantly, what is not. Learning to paint volumes, including atmosphere and mood to your miniature, trying to improve on contrast, be it in color, texture, or value. These were things I felt drawn towards, whereas a clean, neat paint job where the blends were creamy as heck, well, it just felt less important. I know a lot of people wonder how to get better at painting miniatures, and a lot of masters say, just paint more minis. Well, I might be weird, but for me, that is just a small piece of a puzzle. In fact, it can be directly detrimental for one's development as a miniature painter. I believe that painting with a purpose is more important. Painting and staying aware of what you're doing and how different colors resonate with each other. If I just painted without thinking or reflecting on what I was doing, well, I guess my hand-eye coordination would improve, but I'm pretty sure that the miniatures would not look better. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying get better by not painting minis, but I do think that there is value in reflection. Not the non-metallic metal kind, but more reflecting on your painted minis. What do you like? What don't you like? What do you bring along for the next one? What do you discard? As for me, a couple of things stood out as pure practical lessons. One important one was to decide on your scheme or paints and add them to your wet palette. Not only will it make you paint faster, it also sort of limits you, which forces creativity on you and practically makes you understand paint mixing a little bit more. As a footnote, every element on the miniature will feel more cohesive. Well, of course, depending on your specific chosen colors, but for me, that was the case. It felt liberating somehow. I seamlessly switched between airbrushing to opaque base coats, to wet blending, to feathering, to slightly diluted layering, and even some glazing. This made me laugh somehow because I remember when I had my one lesson with the master of miniature painting, Rogland. The naive Leif asked him which his favorite technique was, glazing or wet blending. I think I expected a sort of simple answer, but he looked sort of puzzled and said that he does them all, depending on the situation, of course. I don't think it was until now that penny really dropped for me, so thanks Rogland. It was at this point caution came over me and I decided to matte varnish the entire miniature to create a more protective sheet, a mini painting undo, if you will.
I want to share where this mini is from. It's one of many excellent minis featured in Mammoth Chronicles Kickstarter.
This campaign has 8 fantastic 5e adventures that come with 131 premium STLs. A year's worth of high-quality, play-tested 5e content at your fingertips. Expertly written plug-and-play short arc adventures with legendary themes such as a Radiant Dragon Empire, Abomination Werewolves, Infernal Blacksmiths, Eldritch Planeshifters, and more. And the best part is, whatever your platform is, whether you're using physical books, PDFs, VTT tokens, Roll20, 3D printing, or even paper minis, they've got you covered.
Check out their Kickstarter today. Links are down in the blah blah. Using this link will not only support the channel, but also tell Mammoth Factory that I sent you to experience these epic adventures. Thanks to Mammoth Factory for supporting the channel.
I wanted contrast and atmosphere. For me, the atmosphere came from that little book. It gave me permission to add some more interesting lighting to the scene. Something that would accent the features of this beautiful beholder. Spraying the white ink from below was scary, but I knew that it created the base layer I would need to make that green light pop. Why green, you might ask? Well, the model is mostly red with orange highlights, and green is the natural complementary color to orange. This means that I can achieve some color contrast. Voila! Mission accomplished. With that, it was time to go back with the brush and clean up the overspray from the airbrush. At this point, I want to extend a thank you to my patrons for their support. As always, a special shout out goes to my champion and legend level patrons. Andreas Winberg, Bo Ahlgren, Erik Ortman, Lawrence Davis, Mad Nurse, Magnus Solberg, Battle Corgi the 7th, 4VXP, glad to have you back man, Leander, Marc-Antoine Laramie, and Niklas Swedenlind. Thanks folks, you're the best. Once I had tidied up the beholder, it was time to add some gloss varnish to make the eyes, mouth, teeth, and claws pop a bit extra. This was a project that perhaps took me 4 hours all in all, but I could see the struggle and battle when I looked over at my wet palette. Miniac, another mini-tuber painting god, uses Uhu glue for slime and such. I bought a tube some time back and I figured that now would be as good time as any to try it out. Personally, I'm very happy with this model, especially since it was 3 months since I last painted a miniature. That's in all earnest what surprised me and sent me on a journey of introspection and analysis. I might not have painted for a long time, but I have thought about miniature painting, which I believe in some way has opened my eyes and made me more aware. And as promised in the intro, here are some stills taken with my cell phone of my first game board. This beast is 4x4 foot big, and I will start editing the footage soon, so expect a video from me in the near future. But until then, YouTube recommends you to watch one of these videos. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.